Yeah, yeah. Unashamed, unafraid. I'm trying to walk the walk. Truth on the mic, no shame here, just real talk. Came from the outside, never fit in. Now we tell the story and the healing begins. No front, no mask, just telling the truth. Keep it real, keep it raw, speaking straight from the booth. If you feeling like an outsider, this one's for you.
Welcome to another Live Unashamed episode.
Sam, what did you do today to live unashamed?
What did I do today?
To live unashamed.
To live unashamed?
You said, welcome to Live Unashamed. How did you live
let's talk
unashamed
about living
today?
Unashamed. Something I did today to live unashamed. Well, I just started talking about stuff on this podcast that I don't really have processed yet. The deeper crap that's kind of like, I don't know what I think about that yet.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna throw it up live on the podcast and let people hear the messiness and see what I think about it and see what James thinks about it and see what Chris thinks about it.
Cool.
That's
pretty unashamed, man.
What about you guys?
Had a hard conversation today with a buddy. Told him how I felt, and sometimes that's really hard to do.
A close brother?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I set a really firm boundary that in all of my codependence I didn't want to do.
Wow.
Well, the first thing I thought of was I knew we were going to be doing a recording of the Q&As, and I don't even know either of the people directly there. I know them through my wife, but I just know some people who are struggling, and I just decided to fight for them. And I brought the question. I've been trying to help them on my own. I feel like I'm just incapable, so I was really appreciative that you guys were able to answer that call and try to help fight for somebody.
So you unashamedly said, I don't have the answer. And I need
Yeah,
help.
well, I feel like it's brotherhood. Even though I don't know the guy,
Yeah.
I know he's hurting and he's suffering, and I'm out there, I'm trying to do something to help him.
Yeah, no one recovers without community.
And if I wasn't unashamed, then people wouldn't know to come to me or to my wife about this sort of thing, because we just tell everyone. All of my wife's clients, they know. All of my friends know. All of my coworkers know.
That's living unashamed.
That's living unashamed. It's also a really amazing bridge into what we were going to talk about, which is what is so scary about being open and honest and disclosing your addiction, disclosing relapses, talking about your addiction to people. That's scary.
Yeah. Well, so here's, for me, the scariest part of living unashamed to this day is being honest in some way to where I feel like my honesty hurts another person or hurts their feelings. Even though in reality, often that honesty is actually really kind.
Because sometimes people can use honesty as an excuse to beat people over the head with the truth or what they say is the truth.
Sure. In my case, I use it to avoid the truth. I use it to avoid a confrontation. I use it to avoid potentially disappointing, say, my wife, having her potentially feel upset at me, or even just upset at all, even if it's not at me.
Yeah.
To me, to this day, the hardest part of living unashamed. Still, principle number one is honesty after all these years.
James and I were talking about this before we even started recording. I got here a little bit early and we just chatted a little bit. Talked about how, for me, one of the scariest things about being honest is the anticipation of being honest. Actually disclosing is way less scary to me than worrying about disclosing, if that makes sense. It turns out it's actually super healing and wonderful when you're honest. But leading up to it, the suffering all happens when you're afraid of what's going to happen and you're unsure and you're scared. And then once it happens, you're like, oh, actually, I'm going to tell everyone.
This can be good, yeah.
I'm going to talk about a specific experience I had recently that I feel super ashamed of because I didn't open up when I knew I could have made a huge impact in a social situation by disclosing my addiction. And I'm not saying that in every social situation you're in, you need to go disclose your addiction to everyone. You don't have to shout it from the rooftops, right? Only where it's appropriate. But I was hanging out with a group of people and we were just playing this fun little game. I can't remember why we started playing it, but you ask a question to the person to your left and they have to
Okay.
answer it.
Okay.
And like we were being nice to each other. The girl
No
next to me,
hardball.
the girl next to me goes, "What's the hardest thing you've ever been through?"
Mm.
And I didn't know these people very well. And I was intimidated by a lot of them. It was a group of the type of people that have wounded me in the past. That's what it was.
Okay.
Who I wanted to be like and never accepted me, you know? And so I was very on guard, which is not typical of me. If you know my personality, I shrunk in that moment. And I could have said, I've been in recovery from an addiction to pornography. It started when I was 11. And here's what the last 2 or 3 years have looked like for me. And now I run this podcast, Unashamed, Unafraid. And you can go listen to it. And I do it because it matters. And I want people to get out of the dark and stop feeling like they're alone. Imagine if I had said that.
Mm.
I went home and I could not sleep until 1:30 a.m. It was like 10:30 I got in bed. And I got up at like 1 and I begged the Lord for forgiveness. I knew I messed up. Like, that's me. That's what I do. I've taken on this identity as the guy who's open about his story. And in that moment where I was afraid of the pain, I shrunk. And you know what? I'm 99% sure that everyone would have been like, wow,
That's real.
that's real. This dude's real.
Yeah.
And they would have trusted me more and they would have probably liked me more. Not that that's not the end goal.
Sure.
But they saw me kind of shrink and I said some stupid answer like, I don't know, I guess I just worry about too much about what people think. It was something tied into that sliver of a partial truth that people could tell that I didn't want to go into it. And I felt the energy in the room right after I said that, and it just vanished. Because I think what they saw is, you don't trust me enough to be your real self around me.
There you go.
That was hard. And it was scary. And I'm going to repent. I'm going to do better.
Well, that kind of moves to another point of what's hard about recovery or what's hard about living unashamed is fear of judgment,
Yeah.
right?
Especially from those that we love too.
Yeah. Or those that we want to
not.
impress, to Sam's point. Or those that have previously wounded us or rejected us.
Yeah, I
in the
really wanted
past.
to impress these people.
Right. Yeah.
I really did.
And so it's that fear of judgment from other people. So to put it the way God puts it, you feared man more than God.
Oh, for sure. That's well put, actually. I think that's why I couldn't sleep and why I knelt down and I prayed and I said, God, I can't believe I did that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I violated the trust that you put in me. Not in a shamed way, but like I recognize that.
That I want to grow and do this better in the
I
future.
should have shown up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scariest part of recovery, man. I know we even had an episode that we did talking about the hardest part of recovery. And I think those very much coincide. I mean, the scariest part has always been an honesty thing for me. And maybe it's not the fear or it's scary to be honest. It's scary to let people know the things that I was doing, especially my wife and what I was doing behind closed doors or what I was doing behind her back or whatever it was, and just how scary that was. And I screwed up again, and so I'm not going to say anything because I don't want her to know that, because that's who I am. Because I would over and over again just believe that that was who I was. And James talked about it, things happen. It still comes up today.
Sure.
It comes up
In
every
present
now and
day.
then. It just comes up. And I actually, to get into details of what happened with me, is I bought a program. It was a marketing system. And I was like, I'm in. I can make this happen. I can buy this program and not even tell Autumn about it. Make a ton of money and I'll be good. This program was $10,000. This isn't just like a couple $100 and call it good. No, this is like $10,000.
I can see why you didn't want to tell her about it and why it's such a big deal that she didn't.
I tell you what, I was wrapped up in it and I was like, I can do this and this is going to be freaking dope. And it ended up coming out later down the road. And my wife lost her mind. She was so mad, and rightfully so, because I had just totally betrayed. She even said to me, a few months ago. She goes, Chris, when you did that, because it's a financial betrayal. And she's like, when you did that, that felt just as bad or worse than when you were having your affairs. Dude, we have an amazing relationship. We're not perfect by any means, but to know that lie just hurt her so bad. And so I was like, I need to figure out all the financial scripts I've got going on. I got to figure out all my financial stuff, because up to that point was just continuing to lie about stuff and just being like, yeah, well, everything's fine. We're good. Man, having that conversation was hard, and it was hard for a long time. And now we've gotten to where we can have these conversations about finances, regardless of where she's at, whether she's going to get mad, we're still having the conversation.
And now they have like all these financial boundaries with each other.
Yeah.
They have this financial transparency that's been going on.
She's involved in it. I'm involved in it. I'm actually involved in it.
They have values now that they're living by, financial values.
It's fascinating to me that 17 years sober, you're still doing things to improve your recovery and your ability to connect to people and your honesty.
Yeah.
You know, you're never going to lie again about addiction related things.
Totally.
I know that about you.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting that you see that pop up in a way you hadn't anticipated.
I got to the point where I quit doing things on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to Brotherhood, went to James, my brother, so that I quit doing it on my own. James fathered me in ways in that I've never been fathered in my finances ever in my life.
That's super key to me too, disclosing to a brother who gets it. That makes a big difference. Whenever I disclose to my wife now, she's always the second person I talk to. First, I go to a brother and I say, I messed up and I feel a lot of shame and I need you to help me get out of there. And once I feel like I'm good and I can take whatever it is that she has to give, then I go to her. Then I tell her. And then it doesn't matter what she says because I found my way back from the help of a brother.
Yeah, I got back in alignment with my values and who I want to be. Yeah. So that I don't self-abandon, so I don't do the old pattern of lying and minimizing. Yeah.
I know something super scary too is as the temptation comes up, it's scary to make the call, to send the text when you're in the middle of it. I know for me, that was one of the scariest things. And when my recovery started to make a huge change was when I got over that fear and started making the calls, sending the text messages. Before I was acting out, I was reaching out to men in recovery because I was like, I've got to do something different. Like we've talked before. I want to make changes in my life. I got to make changes in my life.
Which is so cool because it's a change in lifestyle that you started almost 20 years ago. Sometimes that scares me to think about, but the only way up is up. You know?
So what's scary for you guys out there? Our listeners, send us an email. What's scary for you? Why is it scary for you?
Sam, Chris, James at Unashamed, Unafraid. But I'm still thinking about all this. I'm not ready to end it. Wow, it can be scary sometimes, and I'm with you in that, and Chris is with you in that, and James is with you in that, and Joshua is with you in that. And that's also what recovery takes. So let's take this journey together. Guys, thanks for listening to another Live Unashamed episode. We appreciate you guys listening. If you haven't followed us on social media, you can find us at Unashamed Unafraid on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. If you haven't become an outsider yet, today's the day. You can go on unashamedunafraid.com, become an outsider, and it'll change your life. It might change your life. Okay, it probably won't change your life, but it's going to be awesome.
It changed my life.
I was going to say, it might change your life. And your donation might change somebody else's life.
That's true.
Money can go towards something that you know has a really good chance of being a life transformational experience for someone.
Gosh, you guys got me pumped. I'm going to subscribe again.
Joshua, you can always up your amount from $5 to $8.
How do you know my exact amount that I donate? It's freaking me out, this guy. It's all day.
Guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, continue to live unashamed.